Hello, and welcome to this video for Lab 4, your second hack part 1. My name is Alan Lesser, and I'll be going over a couple of scans that I did on my Kali Linux machine and scanning the vulnerabilities of my Keyoptrix machine. So first thing that I want to do is to show you just the target. So I did an Nmap scan, and the target IP address will be the 192.168.1.1.6. As you can see on the screen right now, a lot of the ports are open. We've gone over this before, but it's a very vulnerable uh, machine. Uh, port 22, port 80, very open, which is letting me know off the back that I can get through the internet with ease. As we go on to other scans, uh, I did the more intense scan, the switch B, switch A, Nmap scan just to see what else is open. It gave me some of the same results, just letting me know what's open, what's vulnerable, giving me a little bit more information than the regular Nmap did. This one I got more information from Nixo and OWASP as I go into that as well. But just every time when I do these scans, I would do this Nmap as well, just to see what information I can glean from it. So first, we're gonna go over the Nikto scan that I did. When watching the video, it came across as the XSS, which we'll go over a little bit later. I didn't see that on this scan. What I did see was the XXT, which is something else we'll go over in just a little bit. Uh, I saw that versus the XXF, which I don't know if I was doing something wrong when I first did the scan, but XST is actually a little bit more evasive than the XSF. It's a lot more dangerous as well. Uh, the trace method is active, which suggests that the host is vulnerable to the XST, which means that is vulnerable to a very, very dangerous attack, letting go a lot of information. So what I want to go over is what the XSS is and what the XST is, being as though I'm more vulnerable to the ST than I am to the SS. So real quick, the XST is the cross-site scripting, which is basically just a web security issue that sees cyber criminals execute malicious scripts and legitimate websites. Basically, you can go to a very, very trusted website and you'll see a bunch of different links on it. It's been times where you can be on Google, you can be, well, maybe not Google, Google's a lot more protected, but you can be on a lot of these trusted websites, even something like Facebook, and you click on something and it's malicious. You'll be vulnerable to these attacks. It might have some type of malware on it, some type of phishing attack as well. And you will be none the wiser because you're on somewhere where you think you won't get attacked. In an access attack, an attacker uses web pages or web applications to send malicious code and compromise the uh, interactions within the vulnerable application. It's basically a lion in this sense, waiting in plain view, but you can't really see a lion ready to pounce, if you will. If you ever watched The Lion King, and Mufasa's teaching Simba how to pounce, you're in plain sight, but yet you're not. You're underneath the grass, you're just waiting for the right opportunity. And right when the vulnerable person is not paying attention, they stumble into the wrong thing, bam, attack. The XST refers to cross-site tracing, which is more advanced than the cross-site scripting. It is a security vulnerability that exploits the HTTP trace or trace method. This will allow attackers to steal data cookies by injecting malicious scripts into websites. Basically, they're stealing your information. They're stealing the things that which you see with you search a lot of times, and they can leak it. They can leak that information. They can use that information to send different types of phishing attacks. They see that you often go to websites about shoes. They can send you a phishing attack saying, "Hey, we got this new tennis shoe that we have on sale or something like that. All you have to do is this promotion, click on this link, and we'll get you started." And an unassuming e-user would click on that link, and it's all said and done. They let that attacker in, and they can do almost anything they want at that point. Those are so. If I was to, attack, use these attacks, it would be to get information, to either leak information or to, find out how I can get into a user's account, users get their identity, basically, credit card information, anything like that, by using the access to. Um, right here, I have a bit of a diagram of how SS uh, works in a sense. You have the predator, the attacker, the hacker. What they would do is they would inject uh, the malicious script into whatever website. Um, and through that website, you'll have the website visitor, you have the user, the unassuming person. They'll be on the website, they'll click all that stuff, and they'll get all the information, all the cookies will go straight to the predator without the user even knowing until it's too late. It's one of those vulnerabilities that it gets you and you don't know. So now that we've talked about that, we're going to go over into the OWASP side of things. So before we go into the OWASP scan that I did, I first want to give a uh, quick information about what OWASP is, which is just OWASP stands for the Open Application Security Project. It is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to improving the security software. They provide resources, tools, and frameworks to help developers and security professionals understand and mitigate common applications. A lot of times these things are free on open sources. The OWASP is known for their top 10, just letting you know what are the top vulnerability or the top attacks that use vulnerabilities. One of the top attacks right now is broken access code, which is something we've gone over in class, but that's like 94% of what attackers are using these days. Going into the scan, what I did realize is the OAuth scan is a lot more thorough. They give you a lot more information. What you're seeing now is some of the things that weren't found to kind of protect the Keyoptrix. And we all know the Keyoptrix is built to be extremely vulnerable. It's just giving you a lot of information of how you can attack these things. The OAuth scan is definitely giving you a lot more information than Mento. And we'll go over that just in a second as well. Continue on with the scan. Right here is telling you everything that is really was really vulnerable, if you will. I'm really vulnerable to the SQL injection uh, on Keyoptrix, and the SQL injection. Give me a second, pull this up real quick. What that is a technique that attackers use to gain unauthorized access to web application database, adding a string of malicious codes. Basically saying SQL is going through the internet. We're always using the internet these days. It is a way to use internet against the user. Another thing that stood out, of course, is the absence of an anti-CSRF token. We're going to go over that as well. It's another cross. site's vulnerability. Um, and without that, it's very dangerous to not have that taken care of. So we're gonna go into what that is real quick. Uh, the CSRF or the XSRF, because they use the X for saying false, refers to an attack that makes the end user perform unwanted actions within a web application that has already granted them authentication. Sorry. This makes the CSRF attack different from the cross-site scripting attack because although the XSS and a reflected SSF attack changes information to the target site, it does not require authentication. Um, in a sense, cross site request forgery is forgery, sorry, is kind of giving you it's kind of giving phishing attack in a sense. Because it is primarily it primarily uses, sorry, social engineering attacks. Pull up some more information real quick. So an attack can be crafted through a malicious page emails, which is how phishing attacks usually work through emails or links. And once you know that link is clicked on, it can go downhill from there. It can go downhill from there. That's it's a lot more dangerous than the cross script citing. So this also one of the main things that this can do is can force the users to transfer funds, change their password, delete accounts, all without direct input. Basically, once the attacker gets that information, they can do almost with everything, and that makes it that more dangerous. While doing this these scans, I find that OWASP was more detailed than Nickel. And that's only because OWASP does it's broader, it's going on it's web based versus Nickel just being based in the Kali box. I will definitely use both of them, but OWASP gives a lot more information. It would give you, even for an attacker, it will give them a lot more ways into a system. But for a pen tester, it gives you a lot more ways to figure out how to protect that system. And I did run into some issues. One issue that I ran into was trying to do the Nexus scan. I was in the middle of downloading it and uploading it onto my Kali Linux box and ran out of space. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to change uh, the the space usage in Kali. I forgot the terminology. Working on that as well. I've tried a few different methods and none of them have worked so far. But once I finish with this, I'm gonna go back and continue to work on it to get Nexus up and running and add it to what we did, excuse me, in this lab. I will say this though, going back to the difference between Nicoto and OWASP, Nicoto was a little bit faster, but it was not giving you as much information. Uh, OWASP gave so much information. I would have to screen record the scan actually happening, which is something I would think is a good idea to do. Just take a full video of it. Um, because so much is happening with OWASP versus with uh, the Mint. So I will also telling me that the best way to get into the system to is to use SQL injection, and that is completely open to a lot of different attacks. I can't wait to see what a non uh, open source would look like, basically, because as I said before, the captures is completely vulnerable. So I'm looking forward to seeing what a machine that's not completely vulnerable looks like during these scans. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that I was able to give you some good information. Like I said, I'm still learning, but learning a lot. And I will see you on the next one.